So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Trista Holz and I'm a fused glass artist. I create what's called fused glass. It's 2 or more layers of glass that are melted to about 1500 degrees in a kiln.
So, where are you located at?
My business, Trista Holz Studios, is at 13 East 1st Street in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, downtown. So come on in and we'll take a little tour.
So, tell us what's inside your studio and gallery.
So inside Trista Holz Studios, you will find a gallery, which you can see behind me. We host and exhibit other people's artwork. So we, from time to time, have gallery receptions and feature artists, whether they are established artists or emerging artists or student works. To us, it doesn't matter. It's all about community and it's about the interactiveness of art, and as long as people are engaging in art, we want to highlight it and we want to exhibit it. So that's one thing that you'll find here in the gallery portion of Trista Holz Studios.
So, tell us a little bit more about fused glass.
Okay, so fused glass is the process of layering 2 or more pieces of glass in your design that you desire. Then you put it in a kiln, heat it up to about 1500 degrees. It has to soak in there for maybe 10 minutes, depending on what you're doing. And then it becomes all melted together as one piece of glass. From there, you can shape it into other things such as bowls and plates and serving platters. That is done by putting it in another firing on a shaping mold, and then a little bit lower heat, maybe 1200 to 1400 degrees, to get the shape that you desire, such as this piece. So this piece was done by having a clear piece of glass first, and it was flat in a round shape. And then on top of that, I put all these squares, squares in different geometric shapes and colors, and then fired it up so that it was flat. And then I put the gold on it. It's a genuine gold trim. I work with a liquid gold that when it's heated, the binders burn off and this genuine gold emerges, and it's beautiful. And put it on the shaping form and got this shape. And I love this piece. It's so beautiful and citrusy.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Just love it. So that is just one example of fused glass that you'll find in the studio.
So can you demonstrate for us how you would cut glass?
Sure. So we're gonna start with a little piece of glass like this. Put it on the cutting surface. This is a L square, and this keeps the edge straight. This is my cutting tool. So what I'm going to do, put the cutting tool directly on the glass and push down and roll back. What I did was essentially scratch the glass and tell the glass where to break. And in order to break it in two, I'm going to use this cutters. There's a line here. We line that up with that line there, and we give it a squeeze, and it breaks the glass apart. That's basically how I get all of the shapes and designs working with that technique.
So another question I was wondering is, do you do like interactive workshops with the public?
I do. In fact, we often have workshops in here and classes, and then we often when we have a gallery reception or some type of an open house, we will have the public come in and create. It's no cost to them to create. So come on back. I've got a project coming out of the kiln I can show you. So this is the kiln room here where all the magic happens. So come on in. Let's see what's cooking in the kiln. So this was from a community project that we did. We had people here for an artist reception to celebrate migratory bird path that comes through our city. And so people were able to construct some birds made out of fused glass.
All right, so another question I had was, what technique do you find to be like the most interesting or fun to do?
Sure. I really like to do the scroll cut. So after the glass is fused in the kiln and it's still flat, then I can take that and I can cut it into different shapes using a scroll saw. And so this was a flat piece, and I turned it into this fun little pendant, boutique jewelry pendant, by sawing it with my saw. It's a diamond encrusted blade, and it has water that goes through it, and so it keeps it cool and keeps it from breaking.
Oh wow.
I think these are really fun to do.
Yeah.
I like doing jewelry and also plates. So I made some plates that are decorative. They don't hold anything if there's a hole through there, but that's the fun part about it, and I love doing it. And then again, I trim it with my genuine gold.
Oh, nice. All right, so another question I had was there like any challenges you had to face in your business?
A little bit. So artwork is not always easily profitable. So when you're creating something that sells from $300 on up, it's a small portion of this demographic that can purchase that. And because of that, what I did, I created this product here. So this is the promotional product called The Charm. And this is a fused glass product, variety of colors. And I am able to put a genuine gold logo or emblem on there. And then these can be bought in bulk. Schools, organizations, they can use it for promotional product to give away to customers, employee appreciation gifts, or fundraising items. And what they would do in that instance, they would buy, it's always bought from me in wholesale, and no matter what the use. And they buy quantities of 75 or larger. And then they can create a fundraising product, and they can create revenue.
Ooh, this piece looks interesting. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. So oftentimes I will create glass working with technique. So the technique on this was to create this piece so it looked as if it wasn't even fired. So I used finely crushed, it's called frit, crushed glass. Kind of looks like sugar. And I tack fused it just at the point where it just held on, and then shaped it. And because of its shape and the rough edges of this frit, I can literally not use this for anything. It can't be used as a bowl or anything. So I asked my dad, we were talking about it one day, and I said, hey, what do you think we can do with this? And he said, how about we do this balance, like it's a kinetic balance thing. And I said, all right, let's do it. So we got to work in the workshop, and I bend the copper. It's made out of copper. I bend that, and I drill the hole in the rock. My dad makes this this wood. He makes this wood sculpture piece here, and it has just a small little divot in it. And then this fits right on top of there, and it balances.
So another question I had was, what inspired you to start your own business?
Okay, so in '93, I graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from Oshkosh. And I entered into the arts program I think my junior year. I saw my roommate had come home with this fabulously woven purse that she made, and I thought, I want to do that. I love that. I want to do that. I wanted to make apparel or upholsteries, garment material, hand woven. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in the design field, but I wanted to be in the manufacturing field for fabrics. But in '93, those jobs went overseas. So I was stuck without a job, and then without a job in my field. I had a job, but not in my field. Then I met my husband and started having kids and worked part-time just so that we could have the insurance to afford kids and surgeries and everything else that comes along with life. And then little by little, I got into doing more artwork and stumbled upon fused glass And just had a great mentor and teacher, Barb Jacobs. She was wonderful. She showed me how to do the fused glass process. And from there, I just kept building on it. And over time, what happened was I made things like bowls and plates and jewelry. And then it went into teaching. So I did a lot of teaching and taught at the university, UW-Fond du Lac. I taught there for 10 years with the continuing ed program and the Leaps in College for Kids classes for kids. Just over time, product line expanded. The building happened in 2013, so my brick and mortar, which is at 13 East 1st Street in Fond du Lac, that was a realization at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, and been here ever since, doing art exhibits and studio work, production work, promotional products, and classes and workshops for the public. A reason why we have the brick and mortar is because my daughter, I have two children, and my oldest daughter was born with Crohn's disease, and it made work almost impossible. I was not employable 9 to 5 in that setting. She had too many hospital stays, and I was exhausting the 12 weeks of FMLA every year. So the alternative was to find a way to make my art my occupation. And that's how really this transpired, and it became what it is today, is because of the necessity to earn income through my art, because employability was really difficult with a child with that type of healthcare concern.
All right, so the final question I have for you is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own small business?
My advice is do your market research. Know who your customer is. Also know who your competitors are. But just because you build it does not mean they will come. So you really need to be aware and knowledgeable about what's going on in your market, who your target audience is, how you're going to reach them. So many businesses in the first 3 years fail a lot fail in the first 3 years because the customers don't go, and it's hard. So just do your market research and really know who your customer is and how you are going to get them. One thing that I ended up doing is in 2020, the end of 2020, I enrolled for my master's program, and I went back to school to get my master's degree, and I graduated with a master's of professional studies in the business of art and design. And that was very helpful for me so that I could learn more about market research, and I could learn more about how to reach my customer, build a better brand. I think there's a lot to be said for branding, and protect my intellectual property as well. So those are all things that I would advise people become knowledgeable about, and whether it's taking a class to do so or self-learning, there's a lot of good material out there you can read on your own. But yeah, that's what I would advise.
Thanks for tuning in and learning a little bit about my business. Discover more interesting information about Trista Holz Studios on our website, tristaholz.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn.